UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I'm your host, Brandon Shamutella, and joining me, as always, is my ever-constant co-host, Chrissie De Clerck-Szilagyi. Chrissie, how the heck are you?
I'm doing all right. I am proudly boycotting the very important episode of Sports Ball that starts in an hour, so, much rather be here with you guys than that.
Proudly boycotting it.
That makes it sound like I care more than I do. I just don't watch it.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Yes. Excellent. Right on. Well, also joining us, as always, is our ever-constant co-host, Justin Oser. Justin, how are you doing today? Oh, dang it. That's right. He's not here anymore, is he? Oh, yeah. He's gone. We lost Justin. He had to go and do work with his wife or some music thing. I don't know what's going on with him.
Some real life thing, yeah.
Some real life thing. So, but that's okay. I mean, like, we wish him the best. We wish him well.
We do indeed.
Now, with Justin being gone, we have actually reached out and gotten ourselves a new co-host. Now, we've had him previously on to talk Star Trek with us. We've got Uber Trek fan Thad Hait. Thad, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I am very happy to be here and love to be joining this podcast.
Excellent. We are happy to have you here. Your Trek knowledge is super duper way up there, probably higher than mine.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you're pretty smart.
I can definitely name some people that have more Trek knowledge than I do, to be fair.
One or two people. But we're glad to have you on because I think you've got a really unique voice. I think you've got a lot of great ideas to bring to the discussion here. And, we've met a few times in Vegas and we've chatted. But we had a great time with you on a couple months ago there when we were talking some Star Trek. So what did we have you on? What episode did we have you on for?
I don't recall the title, but I think it was All Is Possible? The one with the cadets in the shuttle?
Discovery. Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And it was, we had the director on as well.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. So, excellent, right on. Well, I'm very excited here. And all I want to tell you guys here before we get started is I'm like a sickle of worm on a grease bin. Just as Mishka, just as Lingdada. And clearly you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Crystal.
Oh, it's crystal clear.
Crystal, yes, excellent. Excellent, right on. I like this episode a lot, but before we get into our discussion, we'd like to take a moment to thank our Patreon patrons who make our show possible, particularly our associate producers, David Willett and Justin Oser. Thank you so much for supporting our show. Listeners, we'd love to add your name to this list, and we can do that with your monthly subscription of as little as just $10 a month at patreon.com/UFP Earth. We got no news today, Chrissie?
Nope.
Nothing?
I don't think, unless you saw something that I didn't catch.
No, I don't think I saw anything. So all that I know is that Book of Boba Fett wasn't that great. That's all.
I haven't seen the last episode
disagree.
yet. And I disagree with that as well. But
are we going to have a tangent on some Book of Boba Fett here?
I have seen the last episode, and I disagree.
I thought it was completely predictable and very, very basic, and yeah. Anyways, oh well, I don't know. I'm glad you liked it, Thad.
It's really not the Book of Boba Fett. It's Grogu and Friends.
It's Grogu and Friends. Yes, I'm glad that you liked it too.
I mean,
Chrissie,
I would say it was predictable, but I think like the whole show was predictable, so that wasn't really any that wasn't a deviation from. That's just the formula.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan Kenobi in May 25th. So
May is a very good month for the return of sci-fi characters who were there at the beginning of their franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think so. Yes, we will. You know what? Let's just change this to the Revenge of the Sith podcast, and we'll just talk about Star Wars. What do you think? Let's just jump into Boba Fett.
Can we talk about something other than Revenge of the Sith? Sure.
Hey, Revenge of the Sith is pretty good. That's my favorite of the prequel trilogy. That's
my least favorite of the prequels.
What? Oh, you're a monster.
I have the unpopular opinion that the first of every trilogy is the best one in the Star Wars.
Chrissy, I regret inviting Thad onto this show.
Well, I don't know what to say there.
And I think I have the unpopular opinion that I think the third of every trilogy is the best.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa, are you even applying that to the sequel trilogy? Are you honestly going to tell me Rise of Skywalker is better than the first two?
I would think so. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't like Force Awakens at all. Like, I think Force Awakens is atrocious. So
it has a coherent plot.
I don't hate you're not wrong about Rise of Skywalker. It's not wonderful. Okay, the whole trilogy stinks. Okay, but I mean, like, some kind of cream rose to the top there. It wasn't good cream. It was rotten. Okay, but it was the one on the top for me. So.
Oh boy.
Well, I just didn't enjoy them. I mean, I have some critiques, but it's just like, hey, cool. There's a story.
Return of the Jedi is definitely my favorite Star Wars of the 9. Like, the stories, I love Jedi so much. Return of the Jedi. So.
This is turning into Clerks. You do realize that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
I know.
That's okay. No, I don't hate on any of them. I think Phantom Menace is a kids movie, and I think it was meant to be. Mm-hmm. What was the one? Oh, right. The first of the last batch. It was a trilogy. The first time we saw a trailer for it was on the front of the last Hobbit movie, and we were in a packed theater. And there's that moment when Finn pops up in the trailer, and the entire theater laughed because we didn't know what we were seeing, and it's funny on its own without context.
Okay.
So I think that kind of set the tone there for the rest of it. But
that's funny. Oh,
I tell you what, though.
That dun dun, and then he just pops up, like, when he's in the desert. Yeah.
Yeah, so. And for a moment, like, we looked at each other and went, "Did we miss Spaceballs 2 being done?" And then, no.
Excellent, right on.
But I'm down for talking Kenobi when we get there, if we can, get a time turner and throw in some extra episodes. Yeah. Well, because it's going to be so many. Okay. But this is a Star Trek podcast.
Hey, there will only be one Star Trek show in production at the time, at least. So that's something.
In release.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. It'll just be, okay.
Excellent. Well, let's jump into our discussion here on All In. Are you guys all in?
Yeah, I'm all in.
All in. Excellent. Right on.
I'll give you the slow motion toss of a coin there.
Okay, that is terrible poker etiquette for her to do that, okay? When you're just tossing chips into the pile, that is atrocious poker etiquette.
Well, I would say most of her table talk was pretty atrocious poker etiquette in general. Like,
yeah, if I was one of those other people, I would have been, like, knocking her out. I would have been, like, totally, like, tell her to shut up, this is poker, right? That kind of thing. So, but I get what they're doing. That's just, it's part of the thing. Just, I'm talking, like, real-life poker. So, anyways, did you guys catch the... one card had the alien from Beyond.
Yes, that was so cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. So that's my Easter egg right at the front there. So, anyways, let's jump into our discussion. Initial thoughts, first impressions. Thad, you're our new co-host. You get to go first.
I thought it was a fantastic episode. It was a great way for Discovery to return from hiatus. In a lot of ways, it was a fun episode because we got to see our characters doing things they don't normally do. Sort of like in Picard when they had the one where they had I'm blanking on the name, but the one where they went to
Stardust City Reg.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Reminded me of that a little. And also a little bit reminded me of some of the scenes in TNG's Gambit.
Okay.
I mean, a little less. They weren't undercover, but other than that, like, it was the same sort of scene, and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought the characters had some fun things to do. I liked seeing Michael and Book working together, even when they were also working against each other. I thought that whole dynamic was great.
Excellent. Chrissy, what are your initial thoughts?
Oh, I can't disagree. It was a good episode. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm wondering when we're going to see the opening credits, if it's going to be, a half an hour in next time. Because that just seems to be getting longer and longer and longer. And by the time I get to it, you've forgotten that it hasn't happened yet, and it just interrupts. And it's like, if you're going to do that, just plunk it at the beginning. It's fine.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
They've done a handful where they did have no cold open, but it's been a while since we've had that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I did think the whole thing of the poker scene where they were working together and how they were showing all their tells, like she was yawning and he was pulling on his ear, and it's like, I'm sorry, the other people at the table are going to notice that. That is way too obvious.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like there was no way those other two people didn't know that they were working together the whole time there. And I think that's why that the one person slammed her hands on the table and got ejected.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
She was mad about it.
Yeah, I thought the episode was good. Like, the first time I saw it, I'm like, this seemed really lackluster. I watched it yesterday morning, like pretty early in the morning. I woke up in the middle of the night because my hip was in pain. I'm old, and so, how do you hurt yourself? Sleeping when you get to be my age, right? So one of the most effective ways to hurt yourself.
Been there, done that.
So I watched it, and I'm like, it's okay. I was hoping for more, and then I watched it again this morning here, and I enjoyed it a lot more this time. I really enjoyed the moments between Book and Burnham a lot more this time, and really saw what they were going for with the episode, with the kind of position that she's in. So I definitely appreciate it a lot more on a second viewing. So I'm looking forward to discussing this a bit. So let's start talking about Book and Tarka first here with the Isolinium. So it's interesting because Book's got a very interesting tone when he's dealing with Tarka right now, discussing this situation that's going on. Like, Book is like, he's emotionally restrained right now. Like, he's like upset. I can sense some anger from him. He's like, look, this is what I have to do. I'm not happy that I got to do it, but I'm doing it. And Tarka's got he's got this almost nonchalant attitude about what they're doing. And I thought it was a pretty interesting way to get into this relationship with them, because, we'd seen some speculation that maybe it was like Book was just going undercover to get him and whatnot, but I definitely don't think that's the case now. So, Thad, what do you think of the way that they were reacting, specifically Book?
I enjoyed that. I think it's pretty clear that while Book is committed, he's definitely not as enthusiastic as the idea about the idea as Tarka is, and you definitely, at least to me, it seems as though Book is clearly ready to do this, but as a necessity, whereas Tarka is more sort of like, this is the only thing we can possibly do, so I'm going to do it. And I enjoyed that Book thought that Tarka had everything planned out, and was quite upset when he found out that, no, we gotta go get this stuff.
Chrissy?
Yeah, so I think Book is using this as an attempt to avoid grieving, or as a way to maybe alleviate alleviate isn't the right word, but instead of actually dealing with the fact that, everyone he knew on his own planet is dead, he's being an avenging angel of some type, and feeling like that's going to take care of how he's feeling, when really nothing can do that except dealing with it. I think he understands that Michael's plan, that the idea of we need to talk to these people, first contact and all of that, is right. And I think that if it were any other circumstance, if Kwejian had not blown up, he would be with her on this. But because it's personal, he's being blinded by that. And I think then that affects how he's dealing with Tarka, because Tarka's just like, I want to get the energy source so I can go to this other universe that we don't know about, but definitely isn't the mirror universe, because they said as much, to find his coworker friend brother, lover, we don't know. But so his ends have absolutely nothing to do with what's actually going on in the Federation and the issues of the DMA. He just wants the power source. And so there's going to be conflict there. And they didn't like each other much in the first place, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where this is going to go next week, especially now that Tarka and Book have this isolinium. I didn't quite understand what the need for the isolinium was. Like, it's designed to... He needed this material for developing some kind of a device to stop the DMA from doing things. What was it? What exactly was it that they were building with this isolinium?
It's some kind of weapon, right? It's a big
for
explosion.
the trialytic explosion, I think.
Okay.
Isn't that the word? I think.
Yeah, something.
Okay.
But I think it's a catalyst. So it's like having the dilithium and antimatter for a warp engine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So in order for them to do this, Book thought that Tarka had everything they needed, but Tarka's like, no, I needed the Federation for that. I needed the Federation to get this isolinium, but since we're no longer working with the Federation, we have to go and find it on our own. So Book and Tarka go, they know that the Federation is searching for them. They know what they're looking for. And so they have to kind of go off the radar in order to find this isolinium. And so they come across this old acquaintance of theirs, Has Mazzaro, who's like this owner of this casino called the Karma Barge. And I thought this was really weird because this barge seemed like really small. And it didn't look like there was much else on this planet when they went to it. Like, it was like this giant ocean with just this barge going up and down the ocean. What'd you guys think of this, Chrissy?
First thing, I was very glad that this wasn't being run by a Ferengi and it wasn't a subsidiary of Quark's 900 years later. And that didn't occur to me as something they could have done until I watched it the second time. And I was like, would they have gone that far? They might have. They might have, but... So yeah, I thought he's a very interesting character. I hope we see more of him because he is fun.
He's a very interesting looking alien.
That too. That too. And yeah, I think it is the only thing that's on that planet or moon or whatever it is, because that allows it to be undercover, as it were. People get to do illegal things there because people don't know about it.
Interesting security system they've got.
That reminded me of Talos 4.
Okay, yeah.
Give me a reason to go somewhere else. Well, okay, there's a giant space serpent that's about to eat us, so we'll go somewhere else. Okay.
I think it was a missed opportunity for them. They could have done the thing from How Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth. So, could have had a deep cut reference there to the animated series.
Kukulkan.
Yeah.
Kukulkan. Thad, what did you think of the Karma Barge?
Yeah, I definitely think it was an interesting way to hide it. I feel like that's a lot of work to dedicate an entire planet to this. Like, they could have just as easily hidden it in like a holographic asteroid or something. But I mean, it adds character to it, and I definitely liked Has Mazzaro. I thought he was a very fun character. I would be down for a Has Mazzaro spinoff. That would be cool.
That's funny. It's interesting that they have this little casino that's going on this planet. He is a very fun character, right? But there was some odd stuff with him. Like okay, I'm going to say, I know I made the joke on the beginning, but I wasn't too fond of the writing of the dialogue. Like, these weird, obscure references, there was just too many of them, and it was just too ridiculous, right? Like, I didn't write them down, but I don't know, it just seemed a little bit too much for me. So that was the only real issue I had with the episode, was all of these bizarre alien references that everybody understood except for us, right? What did you think of those, Thad?
I thought that helped establish it as a world that we're just seeing a small part of. Maybe they went a little far by doing a lot of them, but I think it helps. It just helps us see, this isn't just, us in the future. This is a whole new universe filled with things that we don't know nothing about.
Yeah. I liked the Klingons in a disco. People, some people pointed that out on Twitter. It's like, that's a nice little thing there. And I didn't know Cardassians like cake.
Yeah, I liked that. That was good.
Well, it is eternal.
I mean, yeah, that's one thing Garrick never talked about was cake, or Ducat, but
Or any Cardassian we've ever met before,
right. Maybe Zial. Of any Cardassian we've met, I think the only one who might enjoy cake is Zial. But
I'm trying to think of Cardassians mentioning food, and all I can think of is
fish flavored
egg
Yamak sauce.
Of Yamak sauce and the eggs from Chain of Command.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and what was the booze that Damar liked? Kanar.
Kanar,
Oh,
yeah.
Kanar.
Right, so
Yeah.
thick,
Yeah.
greasy, slimy stuff. They had the fish juice, right? That was something that they had. They had fish.
Oh yeah,
juice.
they drink hot fish juice instead of coffee.
I just finished reading the first Terok Nor book. I know it's not canon, but they talked a lot about eating this gross fish and whatnot. So I'm like, is it fish cake? It's probably fish cake that they're eating.
Could be.
So
Could be. What was the other? Oh, he did. I did appreciate the mention of the spider cow, though, which I didn't catch the first time I watched, and I did the second time, and I went, nice.
Oh, that's cute.
Wait, is that a
Nice
Lower Decks
connection.
reference?
Yeah.
It is. Yes,
Is-
I didn't
Is that
catch that it was a
the
Lower Decks
first
reference.
Lower
Yes.
Decks reference that we've gotten in
Well,
live
that
action
I-
Star Trek?
I'm not sure of.
I think it
but,
is. Yeah.
Because I can't
Might
think
be.
of any others. I missed that too, but as soon as you said it, I'm like, Lower Decks, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a mention of a California class ship somewhere, like in Picard. Maybe,
It was in a
but I might
book.
be
It was
wrong
in.
about that.
It was in the third.
Oh.
one of the
Then that doesn't
one
count.
of the Coda novels. They mentioned one, right?
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm way off. Okay.
Well, because since the first season of Lower Decks, when we had the Spider Cow, all we've had is season 3 and 4 Discovery for live action,
Right.
And season
Oh, true,
3 of
yeah.
Discovery was already made. It was just
yeah,
delayed.
that's a fair point.
So this would be the
So-
first opportunity, really.
But yeah, that's exciting to get the first Lower Decks reference. Now we just need a Lower Decks spin-off novel, because they haven't even discussed that yet.
Yeah, I didn't. I heard them say
comic.
Spider Cow, but I didn't catch that it was a reference to the Lower Decks. That's funny.
yeah.
So.
The whole thing felt like it was supposed to be like maybe satirizing or reminding us of something in reality. And I can't for the life of me figure out what that is. I feel like there is a character or some famous person that has a tendency to put in ridiculous comments like that. And I can't think who it is. Listeners, if that clicked in your head, then please do tell me. The only one I can think of with the truly obscure references is Dennis Miller, and I really hope it was not a Dennis Miller thing.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, he was on Saturday Night Live in the 90s, had an HBO show in the 90s as well.
He was the news guy in
and
the 80s,
then-
wasn't he?
Yeah, one of them,
Throw
yeah.
the thing.
And he was well known for, like, I can say anything and I'm going to talk about anything. And he's the guy that started off, I'm going to go off on a rant here, but... And that was the show. And then he went, like, super right-wing after 9/11, and now he's
Gotcha.
just a joke, so... So that's why I hope it's not him.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't catch any vibes as this should be a Star Trek version of this person or anything like that. So
Yeah, and maybe it's just... I don't know what...
yeah. So like on this barge, so Book and Tarka get down there, and Book apparently owes him a bunch of money because he stole the what was it, the
The transfer.
Transworm back from the start of season 3 that we saw.
Yep.
And so Kaz Mazzaro takes the dilithium or the gold pressed latinum that they were going to buy the isolinium with, and he chooses to keep it and says that's now we're even for that thing from a couple years ago. And so they were going to kick him out and go get more money, but instead they help him with this ring of people who are cheating the gaming system. But it turns out to not be a ring. It turns out to be a changeling. It turns out to be a ring of one, and we get a changeling. And not only is it just like a changeling, because we've heard the term changeling in Star Trek lots. It's
a
actually
capital C changeling.
it's a changeling. It's one of the changelings from Odo's species, which was kind of an interesting callback. So I think they should have got what's her name from DS9, but that's just me.
Salome
Salome
Jens.
Jens, yeah. They should have got her, but that's okay.
I thought it was really cool that we got a different changeling hairstyle, because there's no reason that they would all have that same hairstyle, especially since the reason Odo has it is because he was imitating a Bajoran.
That's how important Dr. Mora was to all changelings, that as soon as they saw him, they're like, Dr. Mora. And then that's their culture. The Dr. Mora culture.
But I was excited to see that this changeling had a different hairstyle, but at the same time had exactly the makeup we were expecting of a changeling. Like, because...
Yeah.
And while I am, for the most part, totally fine with Discovery reimagining some of the alien makeup, that's fine. All the shows have done that to some degree or another. It was cool to see the changeling basically look exactly like they did in DS9.
What bothers me about that, though, is that was just because Odo couldn't do a face right.
Yeah, I know.
And we know that this changeling could do a face right because they had all sorts of different faces that were very complicated and not smooth. So, sometime in the last 900 years, have they been like, okay, well, when we're out in public with the solids, we're going to do what Odo did?
Well, I mean,
What?
they're following in Salome Jen's footsteps, because that's what she did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not the changeling woman. It's that woman from the Chase where they seeded all the planets. So that's why.
There we go, yeah.
Who's also Salome Jens.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's what I mean.
So, yeah. So I don't know. Like that's one of those things where you got to bring up in Deep Space Nine. Why do they look like that, and why does their hair look like that? When the only reason Odo looks like that is because of this and this, right? So, but I guess they forgot that episode when they decided to make the search part too. So, yeah. Anywho. Excellent. I thought that was a fun reference. I thought that turn into the Tribble was an interesting thing, an unexpected thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Having it roll off, because I don't think we've ever seen Tribbles move, right? So, other than
No.
slowly
Well,
Certainly
crawling.
not like that.
Yeah.
There was the explosion of Tribbles in Trouble with Edward.
Yeah, but that's all a lie. That whole thing is a lie. Nothing of that in that episode happened.
Yeah, but we saw Tribbles moving, though. That's my point. In a big wave toward John Benjamin in his underwear.
Yes.
I liked the new effect for the shift, too. It was close enough to the DS9 one where you could see what it was. You knew what it was, but at the same time, it looked like it wasn't the 90s still. So
Well, it's almost like
good.
CG has improved a bit in the last 30 years.
Almost.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would have looked better if it looked like that stuff from the 90s, but I'm a original purist. No, I'm just kidding. This looked just fine. I'm just kidding. It looked good.
Nostalgia will get you every time.
Yes, that blob shape, of Odo in the episode when he turns into the evil thing, back in season 1. It's these giant blobs.
Yeah. I hope we see more changelings at some point in this, because I would love to know, for all intents and purposes, changelings are one entity that splits off when they feel like it. So these people could be the same ones that were involved in the Dominion War.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
we don't know how long they last. Odo lasts.
We know
long.
they live a really long time because there's the DS9 episode Children of Time where they meet the people that have been on that planet for 300 years, and Odo's still there.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, there's no reason for them to age, because they've got all these, they can manipulate all their cells. So, yeah. So I want to know, what happened in the Dominion. This could be a way to find out what happened after the war.
Yeah. That's why I said it should have been Salome Jens. So,
In a different universe, we could be getting Odo back, but that would be weird now.
But in the other end of it, though, that is problematic, because it's so when Odo went into the pool and he came back out, who's who then? So if when they said the drop becomes the ocean and the ocean becomes the drop, are they just one person? Well, then why do they even look different? Why do any of them even look different, right? So
I would say that the consciousnesses are not necessarily tied to the substance.
it's tough to
So,
know.
Ooh, yeah.
So, Odo is a separate consciousness, and they probably all have separate consciousnesses that can link together, but they are still separate. But, when they join in, the goo that was Odo when he joined the link is not necessarily exactly the same goo that's Odo when he leaves, but Odo's consciousness is in it, so it is.
It's Odo.
Where does the consciousness get stored? Anyway, this is not D Space Nine podcast. Let's
No.
move on. So there's just too many
But I was
questions.
just thinking, the goo that is Odo is a great title.
That's the name of my D Space Nine cover band.
The goo that is Odo. Nice.
The goo that is Odo.
Yes.
Or at least the first album.
Salome Jens is still alive. She's
Yes.
85. I don't know if she's acting anymore, but I had to Google. So.
Hey, if Patrick Stewart is,
if
she
the
can
female changeling is behind the DMA, I'm gonna lose it.
the Stilfer, actually, the changelings. So. Okay, well, let's keep going on the barge here. Let's talk about Burnham and Owo. So Burnham's been
Oh wow,
told.
you mean?
Oh wow! Oh wow! So Burnham's been given orders covertly by Vance to do her job as directed by the president, but stay away from Book because she's too close to him emotionally. And then Vance is like, well, if you happen to find a way to investigate it, just do it anyways. So she uses her back history with Book to realize, hey, that he's probably going to go see Hasmazaro. So then she goes down there with Owo. And she brought Owo because she understands the frustration that Owo was in a few episodes ago when she wanted to help but was unable to. And so she brought her along so that she could help this time. So let's talk about the relationship here in this episode. Chrissy, you want to start?
I love seeing them work together. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of her except for the episode where Ariam dies. And we've had a couple, and the episode where she should have died with the dots, and I can't think of what the name of that one was. But
That was the third season finale. That Opus U Part 2, wasn't it?
Yes. So I'm really glad to see her character being fleshed out. I like that we're getting some clues into background with her. Like, she's lost somebody, and it feels like more than just we all lost people because we went 900 years into the future. Well, the way she was talking with Tarka about that. And I absolutely adored seeing two women of color just totally do a rope-a-dope on everybody, and that was beautiful. Because I don't know if that's ever been on TV before in that context. So I think that's great.
Thad, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I like that Owo was behind Burnham when she found out when she realized the book was going to be there, and I like that they both supported each other, and yeah, they definitely pulled a fast one on everybody with the. So that's a question. In our world, that sort of thing is illegal. I don't know. I mean, in a lawless karma barge, I don't know how that works, but that is interesting.
Yeah, like, so based on what happened here, like, you've written in here, Christy, was Burnham in on the plan? I believe she absolutely was.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I think she was, too.
So Owo looks at the thing and she's like, I got an idea. We'll do this, we'll lose twice, and then I'll kick some butt and we'll have super high odds.
If Burnham wasn't in on the plan, she wouldn't have bet at all for the third round.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, and then, like, the way that she was pumping it up, too, right? So, like, bringing this confidence and whatnot. I liked the plan. I thought it was fun. I thought it was an interesting thing. But I agree that it's like this, I don't buy that this could happen. Like, so there's a couple of things in here. I think this is what threw me off initially. I came to like the episode because of the stuff with Book and Burnham. But, I mean, like, this couldn't have happened. And then, like, when they're gambling and playing the poker and doing all that table talk and whatnot, like, that just seemed ridiculous as well, you know? So, so the stuff that's going on this barge, Hasmazar was concerned about fraud, right? But it's just happening left and right all over his barge. You know, people are picking pockets and people are fraudulently doing these poker games. People are fraudulently doing these fighting games and whatnot. Like, just left and right, all this fraud is just happening on his boat.
I would say in terms of legality issues, there are none there because this is
there are no laws.
Yeah, and Hasmazaro has the final say in that stuff. I would think, like, he is the law there for all intents and purposes. I don't think he cares about pickpockets. He may even have them working for him, because that puts people in a position where they need credit to do whatever they're going to do, and he's the only one who can provide it. I think he knew that what was going on with Burnham and Oo was to his benefit no matter what, because he was going to take the Latinum either way. So he had good reason to allow that to happen, and to, and then after the fact, not make an issue of it with the two fighter guys. And the same thing with the poker game. That was all to his benefit. We only see him concerned about when he thinks the guy's counting cards, and that is because that wouldn't be to his benefit. So I can imagine, again, I know I mentioned Cork before, but you can imagine Cork running a place and then arranging to have somebody be a pickpocket so that he can offer them, credit in a Cork-run hotel, for a night until they get their stuff together. So at 50,
I get what you're saying there with that, but it's just, he's also got the reputation, people come to gamble here for a reason, right? Right? This is kind of supposed to be like an elite place or whatnot. If it's the only thing on there, it's a secret barge with a secret dragon hologram security system. You don't just stumble across this place. You have to know about it. And if you're going to hide yourself that well, the people you're inviting are rich people, special customers, special people. And to have people just be free running the place and manipulating the system, I don't think he would stand for that for a second. Because there was other people gambling on that fight between Oo and that guy. So, yeah,
that's true.
I don't know. Thad, what do you think of that?
It's complicated. I don't know. I guess it's okay, but it just feels like if that's how you can, if people can do that at the boxing ring, why would anyone participate? Why would anyone bet on these if they can be manipulated like that?
Well, yeah, and that's why this is generally frowned upon, if not illegal, in reality. Right. But I don't know. Maybe they trust Haz Mazzaro enough that when that kind of thing does happen, they figure that he will take care of it.
And I think maybe he normally does, because it seemed that way when the losers came up, where they're just we'll take that, you hustled us. They seem to assume that they would just get the money. Yeah.
So it probably doesn't happen often, and when it does, Mazzaro probably comes down hard on it.
Also, I really loved the depiction of the completely bored person saying, congratulations, here's your winnings. I just loved that.
That was pretty
so
funny.
Good.
I like that too. Yeah. So,
just minimum wage workers on this barge in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
He could be using holograms. Maybe it was a hologram. I don't know.
Right on. Okay, so is there anything else we want to talk about the poker game? We kind of touched on it here. I mean, this episode's interesting because it's not a lot happens that advances the grand plot of the season, right? There's just a lot of little things that happen. I guess the main thing here is kind of Burnham and Book, right? And them talking to each other. And I really like the idea of them facing off in this location because Burnham can't do anything. She's got no authority where she is, and so she's just got to confront him as a friend, and I like that. I thought that added a really interesting touch to the episode overall.
I thought it was interesting that Haz said that if you act like an Armis, you'll be kicked out. I thought that was funny, but at the same time,
why would he know who Armis is?
Why would he know who Armis is? Yes.
900 years ago, this blob killed one starship lieutenant somewhere, somewhen. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you act like a Robin Hood, he'll kick you out too. Just to name something that's 900 years old,
But Robin Hood is books and movie adaptations.
Yeah,
but, I can't see Cashiar's life
also,
being idolized.
Robin Hood was on the same planet as we are, so that's
it seems like from what we've seen from Lower Decks, with of course that ended up being that Armis. So now that I'm thinking about it, is there a species of Armises?
I did love when they prank called Armis on Lower Decks. That was great.
I don't know. It's times when they really they hit the nail on the head too many times with the references and the Easter eggs and the names. Like even in this one here too, it's like I don't know. I might get completely crapped on by fandom on Twitter for this one here, but it's like, okay, Eisenberg class,
What else
right? Eisenberg class shuttlecraft and whatnot. Like now we're referencing the actors that play them. I get it. Nog was a wonderful character, right? But we've had like Captain Nog, we've had the ship named Nog, and now we got an Eisenberg class as well. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a pessimist and whatnot, but it's like,
I mean, it's not like that's the first time that's happened. There are all sorts of classes and ships named for real life people.
yes,
Plenty in Star Trek already.
Let's go hang out in the Jeffries
Yes.
tubes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes,
really. And they had said that the Nog is an Eisenberg class already.
Yeah, they had
So,
it. Yeah, it wasn't
that
on
was-
screen, but they had like announced that. Yeah.
Oh, they said that behind the scenes.
Yeah, that was
So,
established.
okay.
Yeah. But I think he was just because those are kind of a small-ish
Like,
ship, I think. So I think it was just like, oh, we can stick that in there as something that wouldn't normally.
Right.
be
So are
this.
we going to get the DeForest Kelly class shuttlecraft as well? The James Doohan class shuttlecraft? You know, the Doohan class and stuff like this? Like, it's just...
Well, I think the Kelly one should be a transporter, but that's me.
Because he didn't like it? So...
Yeah.
The
That would be
DeForest
pretty
Kelly
good, yeah.
class transporters.
Or just the or the DeForest. I think the DeForest class would
The
sound
DeForest
cooler.
class.
That does sound cool,
DeForest
yeah.
class.
Yeah.
So... Anyways, yeah, the Armus one, though, felt odd. It's like, why would this guy know who Armus is? Why
did,
would he
yeah.
know this, right? So it was just like a lot in
Well,
the
maybe it's a
episode.
completely different Armus.
Sure.
We-
I don't know.
Well,
Like-
see, that's the thing. Is Armus a species? Because I hear that and I went, oh, it's the Armus species. And I'm like, no, wait, it was just that one guy.
So, but the thing is, it could be a double reference. Like, it could be the reference to us to hear Armus, but then in universe, the Armus that he's referring to is just like a word for dick or whatever that may or may not be related to the Armus
Yeah,
that we know.
I don't know. I think that's
I like
reaching
that. Gone. No, that's
We
what
reach,
headcanon's for.
we reach for the reference.
We
We
reach.
reach for the reference. So
Gotta
I
reach.
just with that, and then so you've got all. I don't know. For me, it was just there was so many like Easter egg references to things before, and then you had like a bombardment of like Easter egg references that we had no clue what they're talking about because he kept making these weird, obscure references. It was just like, what is going on in this episode? This episode is just weirdly written. So
I loved it though.
That's
just it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was perfect for his personality. That's exactly like it worked
Mm-hmm.
beautifully. All right, so yeah, one last thing. I want to know what Oyen Oladeo's, if I'm pronouncing that right, what her workout routine is, and how I can do that
It's a
without
good one, apparently.
like too much effort. You know,
It probably involves too much effort.
it probably involves a lot of effort, but looks good on her.
Yes, no, she's jacked. I mean, but like, they also sort of like foreshadowed this in an earlier episode this season because we see her boxing in the gym in that
That's
one episode.
right.
early on, yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. So let's go to what I thought was the oddest one here, which is Culber yelling at this robot. Like,
Yes.
okay, so that like made me uncomfortable that he's like yelling at a machine, right? So I think I've come to term with how I'm going to treat artificial intelligence when we get to it here, right? But this boils down to, like that was just a very odd scene and whatnot. And I'm not sure. Like, I get that he's supposed to be burnt out and whatnot, but what do you guys think of the scene here? Chrissy, we'll start with you here.
It was odd, but I think we're supposed to read it as odd because I think, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, but like, I mean, that's the equivalent of somebody who would not normally hurt a fly, so to speak, unless it was Ash Tyler, who's yelling at an inanimate object who cares. The robot doesn't care. I guess the robot kind of does care. It looked like at the end, but it's the equivalent of somebody who's had an absolutely terrible day and they go home and they yell at their pets, but on a level that's considerably more and not. You know what? It's not that at all. Let me. That's what it made me think of. Somebody who was being a jerk and yelling at or kicking their dogs or something like that. But But it's not that, because he's not that type of person. So this is supposed to show you how messed up he is, because there's no reason for him to be first of all, there's no reason for him to be cleaning. But I get that, because that's something, it's an activity. It has an end result that you can see, and so there's a satisfaction with like, okay, I got the stain off the counter. So you feel like you've actually accomplished something. So I totally get that. Okay. And I also understand why he doesn't want to use the little light thing that the doc keeps trying to give him, because that isn't like as satisfying as scrubbing on the stain on the counter. But yeah, I think we are supposed to think that's strange, and I think we are supposed to read that as completely out of character. I did think it was a little funny when he said, "Go back to your dock," because you can tell Roombas that now. There are Roombas that have
back to your dock.
Voice.
Do you think there's a deleted scene where he actually like slaps the droid?
You know what? I could see them. Actually, I know you're joking around, but I can actually see where they might have added that in, because he's at that level of frustration where he just doesn't. He almost doesn't have control over his actions because of that.
Because, I guess that what's her name there? Zora, downloaded herself into a few of these things, but are these robots now like an extension of Zora? Right? Is he yelling at Zora?
Oh, I didn't think of
that's
that
an
part of
interesting
it.
thought. Yeah.
Because
they're extensions of the main computer.
Right, they're connected to the ship, I'm sure.
And Zora is the main computer, so...
Yeah.
And we've seen Zora take over these things, right, in the end of season 3 there. So, I don't know. All I'm going to say is Pulaski was way nicer to Data than this.
You're not wrong. Well,
think,
yes, the Pulaski gets a very bad rap among fans, because she shows character growth throughout that season. But I'm sure we've heard that many times, so I don't need to say it again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll see some growth from Culber next week. So
yeah,
I think that's absolutely supposed to be what they're setting up. I think it's clear. Yeah, they're showing us that so that we can see that something is wrong with Q, and that he needs to work this out, because there's clearly a problem,
and he knows there is, and I think that is the thing that's most frustrating to him. Because if he were just going on about his business and I didn't realize I was having a depressive episode, then it wouldn't. It wouldn't bother him in the same way, and it especially bothers him because he has taken on the responsibility of the mental health of the crew, and he has the education about mental health in general. So that definitely makes one over analytical and all the rest of that, and that could be a real spiral.
See, the interesting thing is that he wasn't originally set up to be the counselor, but he's kind of just transitioned into that role, right? So it started, I guess, in season 3 when they came to the future, but it's how did this happen? Did he just take it upon himself to do this? Maybe he's not even qualified to do this. I know we've seen him and he's done a good job, right? He's done a decent job in the past. He's addressed a few people and addressed a few situations, but he may not even be qualified for this. He's obviously not ready for it, right? If he's being overwhelmed like this, right? So I don't know, maybe he needs to address this more, right?
Maybe. In real life, if you're going to be a psychiatrist as opposed to a psychologist or a counselor, you do have to take a medical degree, at least in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that his training is in psychology, and he also has an MD. And then he got on Discovery because of Paul. And if the opening was for a doctor, a medical doctor, as opposed to a psychiatrist, then that's what he took. But I just completely made that up. So, maybe not.
Yeah, so that was an interesting. It was just brief to throw in here in this episode. It wasn't a big plot element. It was just a quick one. So, excellent. Okay, so should we jump into the big blob in the room? The big blob-looking thing in the room. So, okay, so we've got confirmation that there's some weird blob in space, which is hiding a sun and possibly up to 3 planets. It's big enough that it could hide that much. And we found out that there's a race in here called the Stilf. And I guess we found that they were called the Stilf because of the map that Burnham got.
Right, so the Stilf aren't what's in the blob. The Stilf are a race that are near the edge of the galaxy that have mapped the blob.
Okay.
Yes, I goofed up on that on the outline.
Okay, so the Stilf are not the people in the blob.
No, we don't know who the people in the blob are.
Okay, so that makes a little more sense here now too. So we still don't know who's in the blob. We still think it's the Kelvins.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's the aliens from Cat's Paw, because they came from outside the galaxy too.
That's fair. As long as they don't change, how they looked at the end of the episode, they're like those little Fraggles.
Yeah, they got to be the pipe cleaner things.
So then I'm okay with that as long as that doesn't change either. So it turns out that the DMA is just like a mining apparatus for mining boromite, which is like this extremely rare mineral in the galaxy.
Night with an N.
Boronite. Okay, so there could be no malice behind this alien species at all, which is interesting. So I thought it was kind of interesting that the president determined so quickly that if Book and Tarka were to destroy the DMA, that they're gonna retaliate with force and anger immediately. I mean, like, if they don't even realize what they're doing is harmful, possibly, then I don't understand why they would so quickly jump to, okay, you broke this device to save lives. Wait a minute, we didn't realize that's what we're doing. I don't know, like, that seemed like a rapid escalation of events from the president's point of view. What do you think?
Yeah, but, I mean, there's no way. I mean, they certainly could know that they're doing that as technologically advanced, but they may not realize that there are even people, or, that there are people they're hurting when they're doing this. So, I mean, yes, it's very. I think the idea that responding with an attack could result in catastrophic consequences is a very good one to have, though. If they are so advanced that they can do this, then what couldn't they do? They could just wipe out all life in the galaxy. Also, it's interesting to note, I just quickly looked up Boronite. It has occurred in Star Trek before. Specifically, it was had been used to synthesize the Omega molecule in the past. So that's interesting, because we already had a whole bunch of people thinking Omega was going to be the big bad in last season, and now it's kind of coming back.
I'm glad you looked that up. It didn't even occur to me to look that up. That makes sense within the context of how much energy they're using, too.
Right, yeah.
Ooh. I like that.
But
I don't think the president...
Okay, so like just back up for a second here, because like the whole last episode was Burnham fighting for communication and Book fighting for attack and war, right? And like Burnham was coming from a position of like Starfleet and exploration, and Book was kind of coming at an angle of fear for what could happen because of what's happened so far. And the president was on Burnham's side, but all of a sudden, it's not like she's on Book's side where it's like, oh, let's go and attack them. She's on the side of like, this is not a communication side, that she's saying that we're now assuming that this alien is going to be hostile if we do anything. And that's what feels odd, is because it's not looking at that Federation hopeful view of we need to talk to them. It's like, hey, they're probably bad anyways.
I didn't get that at all, though.
I didn't either.
Okay.
I just got that as her saying that before they had been operating from the opinion that if Book's plan went through, they would, be attacking these people, but they weren't necessarily seeing that there would be repercussions. They were assuming that the attack would probably wipe them out. Now, I think the opinion is changing, having seen what the DMA is doing, that now they're realizing that the attack probably won't wipe them out and it'll just piss them off. And that would have very bad consequences.
Well, and what she's presenting is a worst-case scenario. And as somebody who has anticipatory anxiety, I'm well familiar with worst-case scenario thinking. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you think that's actually what's going to happen, but you have to go through that process in your head. And I'm not saying that she has anticipatory anxiety, but as a political leader in the position she is, that's part of her job, is to make sure that that worst case scenario doesn't happen. So I think there was a conditional somewhere in that discussion. I think she said, if this happens, they might, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was the impression I got as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, I mean, just imagine, like, if you took boronite as a metaphor for oil, and then somebody just prevented the United States from getting oil from somewhere that we were getting all of our oil from.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, let's start a war. I mean, we kind of have.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that, like, I get what you're saying. I really get what you're saying, Chrissy. But it's just like, I'm still of the point of view where it's like, I'm pretty sure this season's going to be solved with discussion, right? So, like, they're going to figure it out and talk about it, right? And so it just seemed like a quick escalation of thought on the assumption of what the aliens would do. I don't know. Like, it just, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So it'd be interesting.
Storytelling device.
So we'll see where it ends up and whatnot. So I'm ready to move along with this episode. I'm ready to get to the next one. I'm ready to see what the next piece of the puzzle is. Are they going to go inside the blob next week? Whatever the space blob is, are they going there? Is that where they're heading? So, I mean, or are they going to be chasing after Book now that they've got this tracker?
I think they're going to be chasing after Book to stop him.
Or are they going to do both? So, here you go, Saru. Take the Voyager J and go here and be diplomatic and go and talk to these aliens and burn them. You go after Book.
Well, no, because the only ship that could go and talk to the aliens is Discovery, because they're the only ones with the spore drive that can get there in time. Could be,
yeah. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, Book and Tarka are headed toward that. I mean, I know they're going to try to use the DMA as a means, not as a means to get at that particularly, but as a means to destroy the DMA. So, if the DMA is a mining system, it's picking up things and transporting it elsewhere. So if they go to try to attack the DMA and get caught up in it, they'll probably end up wherever the blob is.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we don't know where we're going. We don't have any information on the next episode yet, but it's coming fast. Guys, you have any final thoughts before we move on to some canon connections? Anything else you want to talk about, Thad, before we move along?
No.
Yeah, it's a transition episode. Like, not a lot that really advances the season happened here, right? It's like an emotional episode between Book and Burnham, right? Is the primary driving force of this episode. Some events that happen on this Karma barge. I think this episode was way better than Stardust City Rag myself. So, comparing it as a poker episode, but I definitely thought of it as well. It definitely made me think of Stardust City Rag. So, Chrissy, any final thoughts before we jump into some canon connections?
No, not really. I think
okay.
I
got my one canon connection out there already, which was the poker chip, right? Or the poker card, sorry, with the alien from beyond. Did that anything stick out to you other than Armus?
I mean, the big one for me was obviously the changeling.
Spider Cow. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed that.
That was a good one.
I didn't catch it till the second watch, so don't feel bad.
Oh, and did y'all see the that there was the pneumatic tube from a bank drive-through?
Yes.
So I don't know what that is. Justin shared something with us, but I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Okay, so when you go to a bank drive-through and they have the tubes so you can send stuff to them when it's not just a window between you and them?
I don't know what this is.
Nope.
Did they not do that to get it up?
We have if we do a drive-through, it's a machine, and you just put the money in an envelope, and it goes in the machine.
Yeah, well, it's a machine here too, but it's a machine that has the tube.
So this goes back to, I can do a momentary Chrissy History's Corner, Chrissy's History Corner, because it goes back to inter-office mail systems where you'd have vacuum tube set up between areas. So if you need to send a memo 15 floors up, you stick it in the tube and it goes in the vacuum tube and it goes wherever it's headed.
I've seen these things in movies tons, right? But I've never actually seen one in person, right? So,
okay. Well, in the U.S. at least, when we go to banks, that's
bizarre.
What they use.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, there's usually now what it is you have a window next to the for the first row next to the building. And then you have like maybe one or two of those pneumatic tube ones. And then the last one's usually an ATM, which sounds to me like what you were describing.
Here it's usually the one next to the window is the ATM for the safety of the tellers.
That's true. You know what? I've seen it both ways.
When we do drive-through, you don't deal with a person. It's just an ATM here. So, just an ATM. Yeah. So,
I mean, you can just do the ATM, but if you have to, like, cash a check or something, there's a person and you use the tube.
Bizarre.
What's a check?
So.
I know, right?
I know.
Okay, interesting. Excellent. Right on. Okay, well, awesome.
Yeah.
Thad, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thanks for joining us for this. Where can people find you when you're not trying to do your one-man system of taking over the casino in Star Trek Las Vegas?
That's never worked very well. The best place to find me is on Twitter. I'm at Tyrannicus. That's Tyranicus.
You want to explain that one to me?
Where you can... It's just a name I came up for myself when I was in middle school. It's like my online handle that I've been using for
Sounds like
decades.
a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
You can follow me there, and you can catch up. You can catch up on my progress, where I am currently watching through all of Star Trek alphabetically by episode.
So, are you going to have to go back now and rewatch all in?
No, for ones that have happened in the past, it's not. I mean, I'm watching them. So what I have said from the beginning is this is not exclusively the only Star Trek I am watching. I will still watch other Star Trek when the need arises, such as when a new episode comes out. New episodes get added to the sheet, but for ones that I've already passed that point, I just put NA for the day watched.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're going to need you to watch the new Star Trek while you're doing that rewatch, okay?
Definitely.
I don't know, we didn't mention that up front, but we're going to need you to stay current with the shows, okay? So you're going to have to watch them for us.
I can't imagine why you need that for this podcast.
Excellent. Right on.
Well, we've had a couple of guests who didn't think that either. So, or one, not more than one.
Oh boy, bet that was an interesting conversation.
It was.
Excellent. All right, on. Well, Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not yelling at your blender because it didn't mix up your ice properly?
Stupid blender. How dare you? So in addition here on Infinite Diversity, you can find me on History with the Szilagys here on the UFP Network. And that's a twice-weekly short history podcast that I do with my fellow historian partner, Jason. And I'm happy to chat about our shows in the Federation Council Chambers on Facebook. And I'm on Twitter at The Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where I tweet about Star Trek, history, and leftist politics. And if you had known me on AOL Instant Messenger 25 years ago, you would have been looking for UFO Peace.
UFO peace is in like peace and long life?
Yeah.
Or like a piece of a UFO?
No. Actually, wow, I never thought of that. No, I had a peace sign necklace that I used to wear. Actually, I still do sometimes. And I was really into UFOs. And it was AOL, so that was what you did.
So what do you think of all these UFO documents that were released last year?
I haven't looked at them. I think they're probably... oh, God, the really cynical part of me was like, that's a distraction from Donald Trump flushing documents. But... But there's people see weird things. I have yet to hear a sufficiently logical explanation for the Roswell crash.
It was Ferengi.
Which usually,
It was Ferengi. We all know that.
Well, okay, excuse me. Except for that, we have to get to that point. But
didn't the trustworthy government say it was a weather balloon?
If it weren't for the fact that an Air Force Army major didn't understand what it was and let people know that he didn't understand what it was and then got corrected, that little... Because I'm not usually a conspiracy person. Listeners know that. I started in podcasting with takedowns of ancient aliens, right? So... but that one has never been sufficiently... I'm sure there is a logical explanation, and I will be happy to hear it. But...
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so UFOs are unidentified flying objects, and that doesn't mean they're aliens.
Okay.
That's the short version after the long version. All right, well, Brandon, where can people find you when you're not trying to bake a cake for a Cardassian?
You can find me on the network here with a show called Franchise Fatigue, which is all about movies, remakes, and sequels, and we are smack dab in the middle of our coverage of the Scream franchise. And then you can also find me over on the Fandom Podcast Network with a show called Good Evening, an Alfred Hitchcock podcast, where we cover Hitch's films in chronological order. And we just released our episode on The Birds, and next month is Marnie. So looking forward to that.
Birds was the first Hitchcock film I ever saw.
It's my favorite. So that was a fun discussion.
It's probably mine too.
Movie. So excellent, right on. Well, that's for some other shows here on the network that we have. You can find Mark White and Amy Nelson discussing all Star Trek all the time on All Good Things. You can find Rhea Papageorgiou, Kevin Scharf, Amy Nelson, and Joe Keegan all aboard the Galaxy class as they discuss all TNG all the time. Mickey's Marvels has come back with some new episodes. We got Chris Trabuzio, Patrick Devlin, and Casey Pettitt discussing all things under the Disney umbrella. All things that make Arrow are discussed on Always Hold On to Arrow with Lance Laster and Cavante Chillis. And last but not least, we have Ken Tripp and Zach Moore taking a look at the Bigfoot phenomenon with Sasquatch. Excellent. Thank you very much for tuning into Infinite Diversity. Thank you to our executive producers, Ken Tripp, Tony Robinson, and Zach Moore. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Tony Robinson for the awesome show art. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and please subscribe. If you want to reach out, you can find the network on Twitter at UFP Earth, or our show in particular at IDIC Podcast. You can also talk about any and all of the UFP podcasts in our Facebook group called the Federation Council Chambers, or you can email us at infinitediversity@UFP Earth. On the next episode, we will be discussing episode 9. Is it episode 9 of Discovery already? I think it is. Which is called Down with the DMA and its weird mining stuff. It's a long title, but it's going to be a good episode. Until then, peace and long life.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.
Oh wait, it's mining and it's damaging the is this whole season a allegory for cryptocurrency?
Ooh.
So
It's probably not. I was
what if the aliens are called the bitcoins?
Mining and
I love it.
they probably are.